Hello and welcome back to PARTUMITER, where today we're going to be dipping our toes into the ocean that is hot sauce. This is something I'm really excited to try and explore every crevice I can. The recipe starts off with 3 types of peppers: Romero, cayenne and Scotch bonnet. Then we have a couple of shallots, some ginger, garlic and of course that incredible mango. Now grab yourself a couple of shallots, removing the skin of course, and make sure you are using shallots because they're going to be sweeter and less pungent than normal onions. Then cut yourself off a couple of inches of ginger, use your teaspoon to remove the skin and trim it down if need be, and chop it up into discs. This is going to be responsible for some amazing aromatics. Then finally the garlic. Crush around 3 or 4 cloves of this stuff, and this step is actually very important. Crush them nicely and let it sit out for at least 20 minutes before processing them further. We want the allicin in there to be released, which is an amazing antioxidant and helps with heart disease and stuff too. Now we're going to de-seed and roughly chop these peppers up. You don't exactly have to be pedantic about the seeds, just know as a general rule of thumb, the more seeds you leave in, the hotter the sauce. So this Romero is going to bring a peppery sweet note to the sauce. Then again with the cayenne, taking the tops off and slicing them straight down the center, taking that same teaspoon and scraping out the seeds. These are a little more fiery, but again, entry level on the grand scheme of things. These will bring that delicious flavor that we've all come to know and love about cayenne. And lastly, working our way up the Scoville scale, we have Scotch bonnet peppers. These I'm just going to cube up. I want these to bring as much punch as they can. This is going to be responsible for the wave of heat to harmonize with the rest of the flavors. And then finally, of course, our mango. You want to use a ripe mango with naturally thicker skin because this recipe doesn't only utilize the sweetness of the flesh, but the aromatics of the skin too, which will bring a very unique tone to the hot sauce, which is just incredible. So cut it up into cubes and we're going to use about 3/4 of the mango. You can enjoy the rest in a salad. Now you have this beautifully dangerous medley. Bung it in a food processor or a smoothie maker with a healthy pinch of salt, because we want to turn this into a smoothie of sorts. Be sure to pulse so you're getting a consistent smooth texture throughout the sauce. And then just add in about a teaspoon of lemongrass paste, or you can grate it fresh, helping bring out those acidic notes, which will make it taste almost tropical fresh. Now once that's all been processed, we're going to be mixing in a lot more salt, anywhere between 7 to 10% to help create a good environment for the next step, which is going to be fermentation. Fermenting doesn't only make it a probiotic, helping the natural flora in your stomach to flourish, but it also deepens the complexity of flavors. And I've noticed it also rounds off the sauce so you don't get super sharp tangs of chili, garlic and onion. It kind of mellows it down without sacrificing any flavor at all. Now in this pot of boiling water here, I've sterilized a mason jar and it's been in there for about 10 minutes. And be sure to sterilize everything this comes into contact with to make it safer. I mean, we don't want to introduce any bacteria we don't intend to put in there. And we're going to fill this jar with our chili smoothie. Sterilize your lid too, of course, which is... It's hot, so be careful. I've used a lid with a hole in it to let the air escape and covered it with some tissue so nothing can get in. You can also have an airtight seal. Just be sure to let the gases out every now and then.
4 to 6 days later.
Let's just call it 5 days. I stirred it once a day. Camera's not doing a great job of picking this up, but you'll notice tiny bubbles, which is actually carbon dioxide produced by the natural yeasts and living bacteria in the peppers, and this is what we want to see. So with about 150 milliliters of this in a food processor with about 80 to 100 milliliters of red wine vinegar. To be completely honest, this is up to you to experiment with. I've used this as a base for varying vinegars in varying quantities to see which I liked best. I landed on about 90 milliliters of red wine vinegar per 150 milliliters of chili mixture. I've tried using white distilled vinegar as well, which some people actually preferred. So it's up to you. Again, use sterilized bottles and fill them up. Rinse the cup out with a little more vinegar, you know, waste not, want not. But Bob's your uncle. These make amazing gifts and you will instantly become the MVP at any barbecue you show up to. And that's a fact. I'm going to whip up a quick batch of wings. So first pat them dry with a paper towel and then remove this incredible drumette. Then get rid of the wingtip, which is ideal for stock. So you're left with this stunning wing flat. I'm preparing all of these by simply seasoning them down with a bit of salt, then ideally leaving them uncovered overnight in the fridge. I'm leaving mine in there for an hour. This is going to help the Maillard reaction, so you have wonderfully browned and crisp wings. Whilst that's going on, whip up a quick blue cheese dip to balance out that hot sauce. Go in with a few tablespoons of whole mayo, half the amount in sour cream and some whole milk or buttermilk. Use this sparingly, it's just depending on how thick you like your dip. Then just go in with a small pinch of salt and a few generous twists of freshly ground black pepper, about a teaspoon of mustard powder and a pinch of cayenne pepper. After that, just crush in a couple of cloves of garlic and stir it through. Now that we have a strong base, it's time for these incredible cheeses. I'm using this stunning blue Stilton, and just to round it all off, I've got some delicious creamy French brie. Also, the rinds have some incredible bacteria which is really good for the digestive tract, so just crumble those in, or if you want, freeze them for about an hour and then grate them in. Once your wings are done drying out, bake them in the oven for about 180 degrees Celsius for about 40 minutes until they go golden brown, and trust me, it's much healthier than deep frying them and you aren't losing out on any sort of texture. Just listen to this. Toss them in your new favorite hot sauce. Usually you'd add butter, but I don't think it needs it. Now granted, it is entry level and it's much more for the flavor of the sauce rather than the gimmick of just pure relentless painful heat. Serve these up with your amazing blue cheese sauce and enjoy. Now, I really enjoyed making this video. If I did catch your interest, please drop a like, comment and subscribe. Share the video as well. Let me know in the comments if there's anything new you'd like me to try. And you can show me support by visiting my Patreon page down below. Happy cooking.